Samuel wiped down the last table at Rosie's corner, the familiar weight of exhaustion settling into his shoulders. Outside, December snow whipped against the windows with a vengeance, turning the empty street into a river of reflected neon. He was about to flip the sign to closed when he spotted them. An elderly woman hunched under a thin cardboard sheet, clutching a small boy's hand as they pressed against his restaurant's brick wall. The woman's weathered face caught the light from his window, and Samuel saw her lips moving, probably trying to comfort the child who couldn't have been more than 6. The little boy's thin jacket was plastered to his small frame, his dark hair dusted with flakes of snow. Samuel had seen plenty of people down on their luck in this neighborhood. Hell, he'd been one of them once. But something about the tenderness in the old woman's voice as she whispered to the boy made his chest tighten. Before he could second-guess himself, he was outside. "Ma'am," he called over the snow, "you and your grandson need to get out of this cold." The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes held a mixture of wariness and desperate hope. "We're fine, sir. Don't want any trouble." "No trouble," Samuel said, extending his hand. "I'm Samuel. I own this place. Why don't you come inside? I've got soup left over from dinner service." The little boy tugged on his grandmother's sleeve. "Grandma Ruby, I'm cold," he whispered. Ruby's resolve crumbled. "Just until the snow lets up," she said quietly. Inside, Samuel watched them settle into a corner booth. Ruby kept one protective arm around the boy, Jack, he learned, while scanning the restaurant as if memorizing exit routes. Their clothes were clean but worn thin, and Samuel noticed how Ruby discreetly checked her small purse, counting what looked like a handful of crumpled bills. "The soup's on the house," Samuel said, setting down steaming bowls of his grandmother's chicken and dumpling recipe. He added a basket of fresh bread and watched Jack's eyes widen. "We can pay," Ruby said firmly, though her voice wavered. "I'm sure you can, but it's past closing time anyway, and I hate wasting food." It was entirely a lie. As they ate, the story came out in fragments. Ruby had been caring for Jack since her daughter, Jack's mother, died in a car accident 6 months ago. Ruby's fixed income couldn't stretch to cover both rent and Jack's needs. They'd been staying in a shelter, but it was full tonight because of the storm. "Tomorrow I start a new job," Ruby said, straightening her shoulders with quiet pride. "Cleaning offices downtown. It's not much, but it's honest work. We just need to get through tonight." Samuel found himself lingering at their table, refilling coffee cups and bringing Jack crayons from behind the counter. He drew pictures of houses with big windows and smoking chimneys, occasionally glancing up at him with shy smiles. When the snow finally slowed, Ruby began gathering their few belongings. "Thank you for your kindness," she said. "Jack, what do you say to Mr. Samuel?" "Thank you for the soup," Jack said solemnly. "It tasted like hugs." Samuel felt something crack open in his chest. "Listen," he heard himself saying, "I've got a small apartment above the restaurant. It's just storage right now, but there's a couch and a bathroom. You could stay the night if you want." Ruby's eyes filled with tears. She quickly blinked away. "We couldn't impose. You'd be doing me a favor, actually. I've been meaning to clean it anyway." That night, as Samuel lay in his own apartment 3 blocks away, he couldn't stop thinking about Jack's drawing, the house with the big windows. Something about their quiet dignity, the way Ruby never stopped protecting and encouraging Jack despite their circumstances, reminded him why he'd opened the restaurant in the first place. Not just to serve food, but to serve his community. The next morning, Samuel arrived early to find Ruby already awake, folding the blankets he had given them into neat squares. She had somehow managed to make the dusty storage space look organized. "How'd you sleep?" he asked. "Best we've slept in weeks," Ruby admitted. "Jack's still dreaming. He kept talking about the nice man with the soup in his sleep." Samuel started the coffee and began prepping for the day. He found himself moving slower than usual, not wanting to rush them out. "Ruby, I've been thinking. Business has been picking up, and I could use some help. The cleaning job you mentioned. Does it have to be downtown?" She looked up from where she was gently waking Jack. "What do you mean?" "I mean, This place gets pretty messy by the end of each day, and I'm not getting any younger. Could use someone reliable to help with cleaning, maybe some prep work during slow hours. The pay wouldn't be much to start, but he gestured around the restaurant. The apartment upstairs isn't much, but it could be yours if you want it. Both of you. Ruby got very still. Are you offering us a job and a place to live? I'm offering you a chance if you want it. The work's honest, like you said, and Jack could walk to school from here. Samuel paused, suddenly unsure. Unless you'd rather take the downtown job. No, Ruby said quickly, then caught herself. I mean, if you're serious, we'd be grateful. More than grateful. 6 months later, Samuel stood in the same spot where he'd first seen them, but now he was watching Jack help Ruby set tables for the dinner rush. The boy had grown taller, his cheeks fuller, and he chattered constantly about his friends at school and the new crayon Samuel had bought him. Ruby had become indispensable, not just for her meticulous cleaning, but for her warmth with customers, and her uncanny ability to remember exactly how regulars liked their coffee. She'd even started suggesting menu improvements, drawing on recipes from her own grandmother. Samuel, Jack appeared at his elbow, tugging on his apron. Grandma Ruby says dinner's almost ready upstairs. She made your favorite. These days, the three of them shared dinner most nights in the apartment that had transformed from storage space to home. Ruby had painted the walls a warm yellow, and Jack's drawings covered the refrigerator. Still houses with big windows, but now they included 3 stick figures standing together. As Samuel followed Jack upstairs, he realized that the night he'd sheltered them from the snow, he thought he was saving them. But looking around at the apartment filled with laughter, at Ruby humming while she cooked, and Jack's latest drawing labeled My Family, he understood the truth. They had saved him right back. Sometimes, kindness works both ways, he thought, settling in for another evening surrounded by the family he never knew he needed. Sometimes when you open your door to shelter someone else, you discover you've been standing out in the cold yourself.